Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. NFL MVP Dak Prescott? Time for Cowboys QB to stake his claim. Dak Prescott was sitting at his locker Sunday, holding casual conversations with a handful of reporters and talking about becoming a father for the first time, Game of Thrones storylines, and The Good Doctor. In Prescott's hands, he held an iPad that was playing the Seattle Seahawks' most recent game against the San Francisco 49ers, rewinding and fast-forwarding play after play of their defense, picking out small details to go over time and time again. As Prescott enters Thursday's game against Seattle at AT&T Stadium, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Prime Video, he is coming off a streak of performances unlike any other in his career. I'll tell you, the way that I feel, the confidence I have in this group, myself, zone, I guess you could call it, Prescott said recently. As December beckons, Prescott has an opportunity to further his case to become the NFL's most valuable player. The Cowboys' next 5 games come against teams with real playoff or Super Bowl hopes. After the Cowboys host the Seahawks Thursday night, the Philadelphia Eagles come to AT&T Stadium on December 10th. That's followed by road games against the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins before a short week to get ready for the Detroit Lions at home on December 30th. In his past 6 games, Prescott has thrown for 1,874 yards and completed 72.3% of his passes with 18 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. If Prescott can maintain that level of play and the Cowboys continue to win, then he might do something only Emmitt Smith has done in franchise history by winning the MVP award. Smith won the MVP in 1993 when he led the league in rushing despite missing 2 games in a contract dispute. The Cowboys lost both games without Smith, proving his value. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy was coaching the Green Bay Packers for 2 of Aaron Rodgers' 4 MVP seasons. I mean, Aaron had a number of stretches that he went on, and MVP seasons, and all that, McCarthy said, but yeah, this definitely has that type of feeling. Cooper Rush has been Prescott's backup since 2017 and has a unique point of view. About as good as you can play quarterback, Rush said. It's the best I've seen him play. And it all started from the season's low point, a 42-10 loss to the 49ers on October 8. Prescott threw for 153 yards and was intercepted 3 times. It led to cackling from those who believe Prescott can never ascend to the heights of a Super Bowl quarterback, but it's been followed by a run that has kept the naysayers quiet, except those who want to quibble with the Cowboys' opponents in that stretch. Yes, the Cowboys have not beaten a team with a winning record, but during their current 5-1 run, they have handed 4 of those opponents their worst or second worst loss of the season. In the Cowboys' 28-23 loss to the Eagles, now 10-1, on November 5, Prescott threw for 374 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Only Washington's Sam Howell, 397 yards, 4 TDs, has had more against Philadelphia this season. Prescott had more yards against the Eagles than Buffalo's Josh Allen, Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes, and Miami's Tua Tagovailoa. According to ESPN BET, he has the 4th best odds to win the award behind Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts, Baltimore's Lamar Jackson and Mahomes. It means I'm playing well, Prescott said of his name being tied to MVP talk. Simple as that. I'm about 1 goal and it's a big team goal and I know if my name's in there, that means we're playing well. So that's great. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to build. I mean, being 8 years into this thing, it's about building and making sure we're getting better and better each and every week, and getting hot right when we need to be. Cowboys' Darren Bland has more TDs than these 10 NFL wide receivers in 2023, including Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf. For a star wide receiver to be outpaced by a cornerback in touchdowns, you would think that means the receiver is having an awful season. That's not entirely the case when it comes to Cowboys cornerback Darren Bland and the 2023 NFL season. The Dallas DB has been stellar his season. The 2022 5th-round pick out of Fresno State has emerged as a star for defensive coordinator Dan Quinn and his stout unit, and Bland's name already is in the NFL history books. Bland's pick 6 against the Commanders on Thanksgiving didn't just help the Cowboys to a divisional win. It broke the NFL record for the most interception touchdowns in a single season, too, as Bland pulled away from a tie with 3 former players to sit atop the leaderboard. No defensive player had 4 pick-sixes in 1 year since 1993. That was until Bland accomplished the feat in Week 11 and secured number 5 a week later. Now, with 6 games left on the Cowboys' schedule, there is a chance for Bland to extend the impressive mark even further. To put in perspective just how impressive of a feat it is, entering Week 13, there are only 15 wide receivers and tight ends to haul in more than 5 touchdowns in the 2023 season, giving Bland more touchdowns on the year than a number of star offensive players. Here is a look at 10 notable wide receivers who Bland has more touchdowns than in 2023. Cowboys fans get big Micah Parsons injury update. The Dallas Cowboys may have an 8-3 record, but many feel they still have more to prove in terms of being a legitimate Super Bowl contender. On Thursday, they will host the Seattle Seahawks, a team that is just 6-5 but must be taken seriously, as it is fighting to hold on to a wild card playoff spot in the NFC. Star pass rusher Micah Parsons, arguably the Cowboys' most valuable defensive player, had an illness recently, but per Adam Schefter, he was a full participant in practice on Wednesday and is expected to play on Thursday. Parsons, who is in his 3rd season, seems to be having his best year yet with 11.5 sacks, 23 quarterback hits, and 13 tackles for loss through 11 games. He was named to both the Pro Bowl and All-Pro first team in both of his first 2 seasons, and most consider him to be the current frontrunner for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Dallas is one of the NFL's best defensive teams, as they rank 4th in points allowed, 3rd in total yards allowed, and 2nd in passing yards given up. With star cornerback Trayvon Diggs out for most of the season, they may have a hole in their secondary, and the Seahawks, with their solid wide receiver duo of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, will look to expose that hole. Seattle quarterback Geno Smith, who had a surprisingly sensational year in 2022, has fallen back to earth, and Parsons will be looking to make him eat dirt on Thursday. Micah Aaron Parsons, born May 26, 1999, is an American football linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League, NFL. Parsons played college football at Penn State, where he was named a consensus All-American, the Butkus Fitzgerald Linebacker of the Year, and the Cotton Bowl Defensive MVP as a sophomore in 2019, before being selected by the Cowboys in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Parsons was named the NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year following the 2021 season. Parsons was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on May 26, 1999. He attended Central Dauphin High School for his freshman and sophomore years, before transferring to Harrisburg High School where he started at both defensive end and running back. As a freshman, he tallied 121 tackles for loss and 18.5 sacks. As a junior, he collected 69 tackles, 20 tackles for loss, and 13.5 sacks. As a senior, Parsons posted 1,239 rushing yards, 27 rushing touchdowns, tied for 9th in the state, 99 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He racked up 55 tackles, 17.5 tackles for loss, 10 plus a half sacks, and 1 interception. Parsons also played varsity basketball. Parsons was recruited by Nebraska, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama, and Penn State. On December 19, it was reported that Ohio State had committed NCAA violations because the university allowed him on the set of ESPN's College Game Day to take a picture with analyst Kirk Herbstreit. As Herbstreit is a former Ohio State University quarterback, this was a violation of NCAA rules, as recruits are not allowed to have contact with members of the media associated with former student athletes. As a result, Ohio State agreed to no longer recruit Parsons. And you fan, what do you think of the Micah Parsons situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.